The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It's Tuesday, August 21st, and today is, that's right, it's Brazilian Blowout Day.
It's time to schedule one of those. I need it.
Shout out to I thought you were going to say something else after Brazilian.
I bet you were. BBL Day, something like that. I mean, they go with blowouts.
Hey, man, I'm about body positivity.
Blowouts are for hair,
BBL,
Jason.
Man, you do your thing.
Mm-hmm. Jenny Beth, as the resident woman on the panel, what is a Brazilian blowout?
Brazilian blowout is a chemical treatment that I do to my hair that makes it, because I have naturally kinky curly hair, so it relaxes it.
National
so
kinky curly hair.
No, natural kinky curly hair, yeah. So it relaxes my hair so that like I don't have to do as much work when it gets wet.
Mm-hmm. It's also National Senior Citizens Day.
Yeah. Shout out to senior citizens. Shout out to you, Dale.
Yeah, Dale. Shout out to Dale.
No, you didn't.
I'm the old dude. I just have to admit it. Creeping up on the age of dirt here real quick.
See what I'm saying? It's also National Spumoni Day.
What, is that pasta?
No, that's ice cream, bro. It's like,
I don't like ice cream.
That's what I thought it was.
That makes sense.
I don't like
I just remember it's like a dessert kind of thing.
Can we get a fact check on that?
Anyways, you can go ahead and Google it and whatever you want to do. But thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above or down below on your screen to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our very own website at www.i9news.com. So thank you all for joining us from whatever platform you're joining us from. And kicking off, that's right, it is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, who's rocking a pink hat today for L.A. Look at that.
You and me both, bro.
Look at that. Look at Pinky and Pinky. And then we're missing the brain. Just a whole bunch of pinkies. Here. Oh, God. Here we go. It is none other than the dope dad himself, Rico Lamitte.
Thank you, Jason. It's a good week so far.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep it at that. Twitter is popping.
Yeah, it is.
And it must be because November is fast approaching.
Oh, boy.
And that means it is 100% in the thick of things, fourth quarter of election season. And with things coming to a head in Florida, that whole, meatball run manufactured hemp versus marijuana battle, there's a lot of things going down, and there's a lot of money being thrown around, and all in the name of bullshit. So, yes. So Benzinga's Maureen Meehan wrote this morning that Florida's adult use cannabis legalization initiative, Amendment 3, is steadily moving towards securing a 60% supermajority needed for a constitutional amendment in the November 2024 election. Financially, the pro-cannabis campaign led by Smart and Safe Florida Jason's favorite, is in a strong position, having amassed 71.8 million as of mid-August, according to the latest data from Florida Division of Elections. The substantial war chest largely comes from Kim Rivers and her True Leave team, one of the state's largest medical marijuana companies, which has contributed nearly 65 million total to that effort, including a recent 7 million injection. After the other side started popping them dollars too. Open Secret noted that in June, the Smart and Safe campaign had raised more than any other marijuana-related ballot measure committee in a single election cycle in U.S. history, and is the most funded measure of 2024. Why can't we get that kind of money into federal lobbying, man? Come on, True Leave. Selfish. On the other side, opposition to Amendment 3 is led by two political action committees, Keep Florida Clean Incorporated and Florida Freedom Fund, both which are chaired by James Uthmeyer, DeSantis's chief of staff and former campaign manager when the governor ran for president. Think there's not a connection between that and the Ken Griffin money? Think again, you know where it came from. These PACs have raised $14.5 million collectively, a fraction of the funds amassed by the pro-cannabis side. The opposition fundraising efforts recently received a shot in the arm when Citadel CEO Ken Griffin contributed $12 million to the Florida Freedom Fund, which is also raising money to defeat Amendment 4, a constitutional measure to limit government interference with abortion. Because abortion has everything to do with cannabis legalization, right? They're all connected. Save the children. Another donation to the cause came from prominent Democrat. Yes, a Democrat's getting in this joint too.
Of course it was.
Pradeep Rick Asnani. I don't know where the Rick came from there, but president of Cornerstone Solutions, who gave $1 million to defeat both ballot amendments, reported by the Orlando Sentinel on Tuesday. Asnani's donation did not sit well with the Democratic colleagues of him. And Mac Bernard, a former Palm Beach County commissioner, said that he personally authorized $70,000 transferred from his friends of Mac Bernard committee to Asnani's committee in July, prior to Asnani's donation to DeSantis. It's a lot of money being thrown out. It just seems like a pissing contest out there, man. Bernard said that he assumed Asnani was giving the money to a committee that supported Democratic candidates and causes, including both the abortion and marijuana amendments. Here's what he said. I was shocked to learn that he transferred $1 million to an entity that is against Amendment 3 and Amendment 4. Why would you be shocked? You know, it's politics. Two polls released last week show differing results for the legalization initiative. A Florida Atlantic University poll found that the amendment falling short of the 60% support needed to pass, with 56% in favor. However, a significant number of voters remain undecided. USA Today, Suffolk University poll indicates stronger support at 63%, with only 3.2% of the voters undecided. I mean, it looks like it's going to be they're going to have the people of Florida win this thing in a landslide. My question is this: for you guys more in touch with these politicians and stuff like that, like. Why are you just burning people's donations, man? Like this money, they're just burning this money, and you know DeSantis is going to lose again. Like, what's the fucking point? You're just you are literally stalling progress, and you're keeping people's access to medicine like on the back burner here. All it's gonna do is embolden the trap. Money's still gonna continue flowing, and it's all gonna be blamed on the weed industry once again. Cannabis has nothing to do with abortion, especially in this case. So I just don't get it. People who are going to misappropriate $1 million of funding that was supposed to go to one initiative and put it against another initiative, why would you not just vote for the other side? I don't get it. But I'm not tethered to Republicans or Democrats at all. So maybe you guys can help me figure this whole thing out. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. What do you think about this one, Jason? It's your favorite state, and they're just wasting people's money on a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, are they really wasting money?
Yeah.
So it looks to me like they're just tricking off.
What it is every layer of these organizations, whether it's a PAC, whether it's whatever other fundraising organization, they all have their own management scheme, right? So if you raise whatever $1.5 million and you're donating $1 million, what happened to that $0.5 million? That's going
out in fees
of all these people.
That's going out in fees.
Exactly. It's going salaries, whatever. People are being enriched off of this on both sides, and that's why they don't care.
Why would you still support somebody who is consistently doing this shit? Like that's my question. Like I've never donated to any like political PACs or anything like that. So I'm just trying to
political PACs are the best.
From you guys,
political PACs are the best.
I'm just trying to learn from you guys. If you
they're better than spray packs.
That's for sure. Yeah. That is 100% for sure.
I don't know, man. I might take the spray pack over if it meant we could get super PACs out of politics. I'll take the spray pack.
Exactly.
I'll smoke one. I'll take one for the team and smoke one spray pack if we can overturn Citizens United and get rid of super PACs.
That ain't happening. That ain't zero chance of happening.
Over the spray perps.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm admitting my ignorance on this. I'm just hoping that you guys can help me. Like I try to understand, like, what's the fucking point if these people, if you're donating for one cause and
I'll tell you,
pissing it
so
away
you can follow the money,
cause.
Rico. That's why.
So you understand that why super PACs exist?
No, I'm saying, like, why would you still support somebody who's like literally taking your money and pushing it over to something else?
Like the guy in the article you mentioned was Pradeep or Rick or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy. Well, first of all, you can't trust him. He took an anglicized name as his nickname. Like that's already suspicious right off the bat. Right? That's like that. No, that's literally on some Bobby Jindal. Like
that's his English name, bro. That's his English name.
Yeah.
Bro. Stop.
And what relationship do English and Indian people have, Jason? Please tell me about the history.
Let me put it to you like this. When I go, hold on a second. No. Because when I go to China, I have a Chinese name. So it doesn't make.
What's your Chinese
What's your Chinese name?
Shijun.
Shijun.
Okay.
I'm just gonna call you that from now on. All right.
So I don't think that this is out of the anything for this guy to be called Rick. That's just ridiculous.
He can be called whatever he wants. I'm just
especially by your guys' definitions.
Let's talk a little bit more about the article, a little less about this guy's middle name. So Ken Griffith is worth $38 billion, and he gave $12 million.
And drop in the bucket.
To put that in perspective for our viewers, that's like if I had just gotten my most recent paycheck and I saw somebody and they were like, hey, brother, can you spare a little bit of money for a cup of coffee and a sandwich? And I did a good thing and I gave him $20. So Ken Griffith probably got asked by somebody who he already had a relationship with. And this was like a little, whatever.
No. We know how that all happened.
Ken Griffith, we already covered that shit. Like he knew DeSantis was losing the presidential campaign, and he did not contribute to the presidential campaign. And I'm pretty sure this is money just earmarked for DeSantis's presidential campaign that it was left over and he gave it to him.
Exactly.
I don't know if it was necessarily earmarked. I think this is more like, hey, I'm going to need this from you as governor, and so we're gonna go and we're gonna fight this battle together. We're gonna be allies on this. That makes more sense to me.
Which is the point of a super PAC.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't want to throw all my money in there. I don't want to do it all by myself. But you 10 guys sitting around this table right now, we all agree. So you guys all got 150 grand.
Shout out to Citizens United, right?
Shout out to Citizens United. Yeah, because all citizens should be united.
They should.
All entities should be counted as entities, not people.
Corporations are people too, Yarrow.
No, man.
Just saying.
I don't know, man.
Anybody
who just pisses away my money, like you guys.
But it's not your money. It's their money.
I'm asking more directly.
I don't get it.
Republicans on the stage right now. When you give your money to Donald Trump and know that he's fucking pissing it away, why
I don't believe that he's pissing it away. He's spending it on what he needs to spend it on. I don't believe that he's pissing it away. I don't buy that for a second.
Selling knockoff Supreme shoes.
I mean, listen, I like Nike. You might like Adidas. Just because you spend your money on Adidas, that's your fucking money. Spend it how you want to spend it. Spend your money and support. That's why I get pissed off at people who do business with people they don't like. Like, you spend your money, you vote with your dollars. Like, if you believe in a cause, you should, and you have a right to put the money that you worked your ass off for behind said cause. Why is it anybody else's business? Don't go through my bank account. I'm not going through yours.
Well, that's an interesting point to make about Ken, because if we really want to talk about why does he have so much money to begin with? Citadel has engaged in all sorts of market manipulation, securities fraud over the past few years. So I mean, that's a whole nother question, Jenny. You said that's his money that he earned rightfully, legally. Like, I would make the argument that was not legally earned, and actually that's ill-gotten gains that was taken off the backs of retail investors.
Okay.
Well,
so
maybe Yarrow.
I say, like, I got this money from trapping, right? I amassed all this money from trapping, and I can't go support a candidate with it because it was ill-gotten gains.
I mean, I think the point to be made is
technically
there's not really a victim if you're trapping, right? Like, you're providing a product.
There's a victim.
Want. Who's the victim? The legal dispensary?
Whoever's the sucker that's buying from you.
Why? You could be trapping good quality product.
I always trap good quality product. I don't do it anymore. Goddamn. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of super PACs. Super PACs are definitely needed, and that's how a lot of people's voices are able to be heard. You know, and
disproportionately amplified.
Yeah, I love what
I mean, you could say, I mean, super PACs exist for both sides. It's not like only Republicans have super PACs. So,
yeah, but they only exist for the moneyed side. So separate from your political perspective, it does not create a level playing field for democracy where the notion is one person, one vote.
I think it does. Because it allows
disproportionately amplifies people's vote based off of how big their pocketbook is.
I totally disagree.
Explicitly.
Totally disagree with that. It allows people to express their First Amendment right as far as freedom of speech in regards with individual candidates and with individual issues, and that's what it does.
It seems like this super PAC that we're talking about right here in Florida is 100% against getting weed for the people, to the people.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was cute.
It's reminiscent of antebellum days, war, or even Reconstruction days when your voting rights were dictated by whether or not you own property.
No,
that's what it's giving.
We're not going down this rabbit hole. We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
Oh man, that was weird. Hey, you America. Do I look like Sean Connery? Good morning, America. Saman Razani coming to you live from sunny Los Angeles, California with the one and only highest host, Mr. Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast? You can find it on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. No excuses in 2024. If you haven't checked us out, check it out now. And also, check out what the Prophet's doing in 2024.
Up next, y'all know who it is, the High Nine News head honcho, the highest Republican in every room that he walks into and walks out of.
Yes.
He's also known for smoking the best weed in the world. And been pretty quiet on his favorite candidate and things.
What do you mean?
The last couple of weeks. So,
Trump is crushing,
He
bro.
just ironed his flags. What are you talking about?
Trump is crushing, bro. Yeah, I just moved. I'm getting ready to hang them up on the front of the house. It's about to look real
That was the
American
least
outside my crib.
endorsement I think I've ever
The
heard.
Orange County Red Stampede,
Yes.
led by.
That's right.
We've now colonized 2 parts orange.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, you guys, good morning. Happy Hump Day. And let me tell you what's happening, because a federal judge dismisses a challenge to a Wyoming hemp ban. That's right. A federal judge in Wyoming last week dismissed the lawsuit challenging the state's ban on intoxicating hemp products. WyoFile reports that Judge Kelly Rankin dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning it cannot be brought back to the court. However, the plaintiffs are appealing the ruling to the 10th Circuit Court. In the ruling, Rankin accepted the state's motion to dismiss for many of the same reasons he dismissed the plaintiff's request for a temporary injunction in that ruling, and Rankin said, in quotes, "The public interest is best served by denying the injunction." Rankin also ruled the only proper defendant in the case were the Wyoming Attorney General and the Wyoming Department of Agriculture Director, and the plaintiffs could not name the governor or the state. The plaintiffs, a group of hemp businesses, had already filed an appeal in the 10th Circuit Court challenging Rankin's denial of the injunction, and the ban took effect in July. Under the law, it's illegal to produce, possess, or sell hemp or hemp products containing more than 0.3 THC on a dry weight basis when using post-decarboxylation or similarly reliable testing methods to add, alter, insert, or otherwise include any scientific substance into hemp or hemp products produced, processed, or sold, you guys. Well, it seems like Wyoming is trying to make sure that they have a pretty well cleaned up hemp market. And it doesn't sound like a lot of these producers are wanting to play along, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I mean, I think that this is important. I mean, protecting the consumer is important. I'm sorry that the manufacturers don't want to play along, but maybe if you're not willing to make something that's safe for human consumption, you shouldn't make a consumable packaged good.
Fair enough, Jenny. What do you think about this, Dale?
Well, I don't think it's going to go very far because the state has the power to do this. Federal government passed the hemp bill, which allowed for 0.3, but it didn't include exclusive jurisdiction over all of this in the states. It allows the states to have their own rights to do this. And the state has health, safety, and welfare power, the traditional police powers, and some of these hemp-derived THC molecules that end up out there in the market are they're just a way to find a crack in the system to make money, as opposed to finding things that are safe, well tested. And so I don't think it's going to go very far. And quite frankly, these products out on the market have not been tested to be safe.
Yep.
It gets you a little high because it's a THC, but it's a Delta 8 or it's a Delta 10 or it's one of these others that have not been well tested. And I just think they're pissing up a rope here trying to continue with this. And bring the governor in. Because he didn't, why is the governor involved in this? Maybe the attorney general or something, but it's trying to bring everybody in the kitchen sink into these. Doesn't go, it pisses the judge off is what it does. And you find out they throw you out of court and tell you you're done, the door's closed, and we're locking it on you. Fuck out of here.
All right.
Fair enough. Yarrow and Sohum, either you two have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, we know the politics of Wyoming just based off of the status of their medical and adult use laws, which are non-existent. So, I mean, I hope this just pushes people to realize, like, we don't need to spend as much time trying to create a prolific, alternative THC, hemp-derived THC market and actually push for creating change at a state level to allow for medical and adult use cannabis there. But I'm not terribly optimistic about when that might happen in Wyoming.
I got some challenges with this. The first of which is because the Farm Bill has left hemp so underregulated, and because it does not speak to hemp-derived intoxicating cannabinoids, my concern with the state just banning is that other states might follow suit because it's a simpler approach for those states than to actually come up with coherent policy. And it's interesting to me because depending upon where your values and your agenda lies, there are those times when we like states to be more restrictive than the federal government, and then there are those times when we like states to be less restrictive than the federal government. For this one, I don't see the win because I don't. Instead of saying here's reasonable guidelines to protect consumers to make intoxicating cannabinoids age restricted, we're just going to ban the whole thing. I can understand the thinking behind why that was done, but I don't think it's actually, from a public policy perspective, actually going to be very effective. And I think with the direct-to-consumer model for a lot of hemp cannabinoid companies, there's likely going to be a lot of disregard for this rule anyway. So I don't think it solves much.
I totally agree. that I don't think it solves a lot much, especially with direct-to-consumer. What's that, Dale?
The purpose is to assuage these prohibitionist, anxieties, and so it's not a public health issue. It's that they're just pulling the trigger to say no, and we all know what happens when you say no. You make that prohibited item precious, and then it just goes out there and increases its volume.
Now there's going to be a hemp trap. Literally, that's what's going to happen in this state.
I mean, that's what THCA is. But nonetheless, we're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to roll right into attorney Mr. Dale Schafer. He's the founder of Armada Law, and at one point in time did some time for a cannabis crime. And he also shows you how to defy gravity on a regular basis by pissing up a rope. That's right. It is none other than attorney Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My story this morning comes out of Law 360. Cannabis entrepreneur can't sue county overseas property by Jonathan Capriel This story caught my attention because I got kind of caught up in the same nonsense, these group drug task force. And it turns out that they call him an entrepreneur. His name is Levi Lyon. And it seems back in like 2019, he was investigated by a task force, multi-county task force. And he was arrested, and there were search and seizure warrants that were issued. And it seems that they grabbed a bunch of his property in a seizure pursuant to a warrant. And ultimately, the charges were dropped against him, which left his property in somebody else's possession, and he wanted it back. Well, these are typically called asset forfeiture proceedings, where the burden is initially on the government to prove that they had the right to grab this stuff. They thought it was part of a criminal enterprise or was the fruits of a criminal enterprise. And so there was a hearing scheduled, and they decided to settle the case for paying a $200 storage fee. And then, and this is mind-boggling to me, they signed a complete, absolute resolution, complete compromise and release of everybody, and it looked like it was done. Well, then Levi decided he was going to sue in federal court because the buses that they had seized, he's claiming that they set in outside and rain got into them, rusted them, and there were some computers and some other business records that were given back. And so the magistrate judge in this case, and in the federal system, magistrates tend to have a lot of these evidentiary hearings or rule on these preliminary matters, and then the federal judge will sign off on it. The magistrate judge took a look at the agreement they signed and pointed out that, well, what you guys were arguing about were the assets that were seized, and it was an asset forfeiture proceeding. You all decided to settle this for $200, return to your property, and then you signed a blanket release of all claims and said that I don't have a right to now go into court and sue for any of these same claims. And it all involved the property. And so the court pointed out, well, now you've sued the county, the task force, the prosecutor, the state cannabis board, everybody but is, in there but the kitchen sink. And the court said you waived your right to be able to do this when you signed that document. And they had attorneys involved. So I'm scratching my head. It's like, how do you sign a full, complete release and then come back later and sue for the items that you've released? And the court took a look at this. So the same parties here, the same issues are involved. You had a resolution of this. This is claim preclusion, or what we call res judicata. You had your day, you're done, get out of here. And then they went further and said, well, there was an agreement here to settle a dispute. All parties did what they claimed they're going to do, and that was completed. So there's an accord and satisfaction here that you don't get to come back into court and do this. I'm thinking, well, if this was one of the associates in my office that negotiated this, we'd be having a long chat. Did you not recognize that there might be some other issues here and not just give away the farm? But that's a separate issue. And the court also chastised the attorneys for Levi for not bringing any evidence to establish that the buses were injured or damaged while they're in the possession of the government. Okay. Well, that's basic evidence 101. If you're claiming somebody caused some damage to me, you don't bring before and after evidence that it was this way before and now it's this way and you had exclusive control over it, and you're done. Get out of here. Well, there was a lot of, I don't want to call it legal malpractice because I might get cease and desist letters, but it certainly would have some heated discussions inside my firm. We found ourselves in this position, we'd be notifying our malpractice carrier that, you should not have done this. And the other issue here that the court would not hold any of these governmental entities responsible because there were separations here. Interagency task force agreement expired before this guy got busted. So there really wasn't a tight agreement between them. When they came after me, the feds were in the driver's seat pulling the strings, but it was the local governmental officials, the local law enforcement that were doing all the dirty work. When we tried to go in and challenge that, they just said, hey, we're not related. You can't hold us responsible for what other agency does. It's another one of those cautionary tales for the industry. is that there's still a lot of law enforcement agencies out there looking to grab you, get you. So be careful what you do. And if you do get caught up, get yourself a good criminal defense attorney who's used to dealing with, these are more now white collar type of crimes rather than traditional drug crimes. Get someone experienced in that. I'm gonna throw it back at you all to hear what you have to say about, governmental entities and screwing your property up and trying to get it back. Here we go. What do you guys have to say?
They do love civil forfeiture.
But Dale, law enforcement when they seize property, there's no there's nothing that obligates them to keep it in like a pristine condition. I mean, they seize cannabis all the time, and then ultimately sometimes some people end up getting it back, but it's never in the same condition that they got it in. And so I don't see what these guys claim. These guys have a claim of, unless they want to take the municipality to court for getting their doors rusty on their bus.
Well, it was the local sheriff who was in charge of the seizure of these. And you have to litigate this because they do have qualified immunity for a lot of things that the law enforcement does. And I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have counseled that you take this case and go try to prove this up. And if you're going to do it, have a lot better evidence of what they presented here. You're right, Jason. What is the duty owed by the government for property seized from you? And I don't know what the value of these buses was.
I always thought that their only duty, Dale, was to maintain the evidence for trial, and then after that, it goes to basically public auction or gets destroyed or whatever.
Well, I believe when it's in their care, custody, and control, they can't create waste or damage by not responsibly storing things.
If you park it outside in a lot and it rains,
if you seize a mink coat, you can't leave it outside in the rain, right? And so, depending upon what's seized, we saw these Russian oligarchs get their yachts seized. There's a cost associated with maintaining the condition of evidence. The problem with the asset forfeiture is there's a few problems with it. First is you're not entitled to defense the way you are with a criminal, a defense attorney, so you have to pay to be defended. The second is the burden of proof on the government for seizing assets is not a criminal conviction. It's civil, so they have a lower burden of proof. And the third is, even though this guy might not have a rope to piss up, I don't know, I'm not a rope pisser, so I can't even get the expression right.
All right.
Even though he doesn't have a rope to piss up.
Is it a hemp rope? Is it made of hemp fiber?
The problem is that we don't have omnidirectional accountability when it comes to law enforcement and making sure that they're held to a high standard as well. And so to push back against asset forfeiture in general, which has been a very effective tool against this industry, both in its current and previous medical and legacy iterations, I can't help but cheerlead a little bit for that, because it has been part of how this has been a revenue-producing, enforcement has been a revenue-producing activity. And so even if he doesn't have a great case, I would very much welcome a future in where law enforcement is a little bit more reluctant to just seize everything, store it, and know that the defendant is going to have the burden to have to prove that they're entitled to getting it back. The other thing also is Dale's right that this guy signed an agreement that probably gave up his right to litigate based on the condition of his property.
Agreed.
And if you don't have a great attorney, you're just happy to get your stuff back. So you'll sign whatever it is. You're not like giving it to them going, hey, I redlined your agreement and here's where I think that needs to be changed from an and to a the. You're like, great, thank you for my stuff back. You've had it for 5 years. I would love to get my stuff. So he's right, you should have an attorney. And a lot of defendants, that process of being a defendant is so debilitating and psychologically traumatic and just tiring that most people are like, great, where do I sign? I just want my stuff.
Dale, did they say in the article if this bus was full sized or was it a short bus?
Oh man.
Oh, you know what? We're going to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get a stretch and smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
Hi, I'm Smoky Vanilla. I have my bachelor's degree in community kinesiology, and I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on individuals that are in sport with chronic pain or injury. I love to intuitively create and customize a session based on the individual that I'm working with. We'll go over a few postural assessments, work together to create a wellness journey based on the health history, past injuries, or anything still affecting you today. And we'll get you back on your feet right away with less pain.
We're about to stretch, and then we're gonna smoke, because we're gonna get on our stretch and smoke. If you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to come on down and get a stretch and smoke with none other than Smoky Vanilla.
All right, stop whatever you are doing. Make sure that you hit that like button. I know we'll appreciate it, you'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highatnightnews.com. The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated. And we're back, Rico.
All right, up next is the second generation cultivator, the founder of Special Teams Consulting, and his dad, or his son, actually believes I'm a doper dad than him. I won't take it there today, my man. Coming to the stage, y'all know who it is. Sebastopol Sage himself, Yarrow Kubrin.
Thank you for the intro. Good morning, High at 9 News viewers. Wednesday, August 21st. Thanks for tuning in. We're the only daily news show where you can get the 24-hour news cycle on cannabis and hemp news. Kicking off my article today, without further ado, this is about beverages, cannabis beverages. So, from the Hastings Tribune, Lahua Brands cannabis beverages topped the podium at California State Fair following successful debut in Canadian market. Lahua Brands, a California-based manufacturer of prize-winning cannabis products, caps a series of North American successes so far in 2024 with its recent California State Fair gold and silver medals, coupled with a rapid, wide-reaching debut in Canada's cannabis market. The gold medal for its refreshed strawberry lemonade and silver medal for the root beer are the latest awards for the house of brands that brought you Viola-infused sparkling water SKUs to Canada in May and is now available in over 250 dispensaries in Ontario. Think about that. Ontario has more dispensaries than the state of New York. Lahua Brands refreshed strawberry lemonade and root beer took home the gold and silver medals, and they got the California State Fair Golden Bear Awards. Both cannabis-infused beverages delights are low-sugar alcohol alternatives that don't sacrifice great taste or over-sweetening. They're proud. There's a quote from the founder, CEO, Sierra Elena. Truly grateful for the industry for the ongoing support. They won over the judges by presenting alcohol alternatives without sacrificing great taste, which is hard to do with suspended cannabinoids and the existing options with emulsion tech or over-sweetening. Both their drinks are non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and made with natural ingredients and 10 mgs. Lower or no sugar are a priority for the Canadian market, and their house of beverage brands adhere to the needs of the Canadian consumer without compromising on taste, natural ingredients, or quality. So, why did I cover this, right? I don't really just want to read you a press release about how great the brand is. Go out, try it. I love the drink category. I think it is going to see continued growth. Why did I cover this? Because I wanted to talk a little bit about California in general. Go figure. First of all, I think it's beautiful that it's a California house of brands that is expanding their formulations and intellectual property into the Canadian market instead of the other way around. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the California State Fair and the awards that were won there. At the California State Fair, 8 out of the 19 indoor flower winners were from Sonoma County, with another 4 from the Emerald Triangle. And in mixed light, 5 were from Sonoma County, with another 5 from the Emerald Triangle out of 19. And in the outdoor entrants, 11 were from the Emerald Triangle, with 7 from Sonoma County. And so I think about the award winners at the state fair, and I think about how there still seems to be this oversized influence from the Emerald Triangle and Emerald Triangle adjacent operators. And I just wanted to point out that I do believe cannabis beverages have a healthy future. I think the biggest challenge is formulation and making sure they taste good. And those companies that overcome those challenges and where it doesn't taste funky, I think are going to win and are going to be the inflection point for CPG companies from outside the space. So, Yarrow Kubrin, High at 9 News. I'd like to hear what my other guests and pundits think and feel.
Well, we know drinks have a future because of Jason. He's going to buy them all and prop up that market.
You know what? I'm not mad at beverages lately. I'm really not. Like, I've been drinking less, so I don't drink during the week. Unlike Yarrow, he's drinking all the wine for me. But I definitely have popped open and tried a couple. Like, when you're in this industry for a long time, people give you a tremendous amount of fucking samples. Like, just a tremendous, try this, try that, here, have my product. And so I'm pretty sure everyone in this call right now, on this stream right now, has like a stack full of shit at their house. And I've been working my way through some of the beverages.
You have succumbed to propaganda.
I'm not mad at some of these beverages. Like, I'm really not. And it's been kind of nice just
propaganda has gotten to
yeah,
you.
Can Rico hear me? Oh, he's just being rude. Okay, I understand. So, you know, I'm not mad. And it's the smallest sector of the industry, but it is the fastest growing because it's the smallest. Because it's the smallest. That's how it makes.
That's fake news.
Okay, Jason, because it's the smallest.
Grower, not a shower.
It's a skewed. Skew.
Jason, yes, it is skewed, and that's what I'm explaining. So stop. You guys are rude
It's a
today.
CPG, so of course it's a skew.
Oh, the interruption, boys.
Hey.
That's why I said it's a skewed skew.
Yes, exactly. So yes, the metrics are skewed, but I think it's cool, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, no, this. I can't believe you covered this, Yarrow.
I can, because Yarrow wanted to tell everybody he judged the state fair.
I can't believe you covered this. This is crazy.
Yarrow's got 3 more plugs to earn a state fair spot for next year, and he's going to get it.
I got 3 more plugs until I don't have a receding hairline. No, I brought this back. I brought this up because we have a lack of consensus about the beverage category, and I love good disagreement on this show.
Yeah, I'm going to go again, and I'm going to say it. I threw it in the chat. All cannabis beverage suck. All of them.
They're nice little mocktails.
They're pointless.
I think it's suck, sip, and swallow.
And did you say that this beverage is sugar-free too?
Low sugar.
Low sugar.
I love that.
Oh, stupid.
I love that.
Stupid.
Love
if
it.
it was no
Too
sugar,
woke for
if it was no
Jason.
sugar, I was going to be really impressed.
I think a lot of
really impressed for a second. But
Jason doesn't like that it's vegan. If there was a little bacon in it, he might.
I don't care about that. I don't care about any. I don't care about none of that. Just so you know, I don't care about none of that.
Until 2 years ago, Jason was vegan as shit. He wouldn't eat anything other than expensive
I was not
seafood
vegan. I was
or
vegetables. I was a flexitarian.
Oh, that's right. If you give him an expensive steak,
shout out
he would
to
eat
Flex.
it.
Yes, I was a flexitarian.
How many Tarians did you flex on, Jason?
All of them. All of them. All of them. And a lot of people know what a flexitarian is because I told them about it. I would have to explain this to people.
If you have to explain it, you've already lost.
No. They were all
Vanilla
fully
help you with
engaged.
that flexibility there? You know
I'm a barbecue-tarian, okay?
A barbecue-tarian. Oh man.
All right, Yarrow, that was good.
I thought you could only barbecue in pits because all the barbecues are too tall.
He's got the mini one. You know the one they put on the
Fix
beach.
the problem of the delayed reaction, because when you take cannabis orally, it takes a long time to kick in. And when it does kick in, it's different than smoking weed.
It is.
And when I drink a shot of scotch or a beer or a glass of wine, within just a couple of minutes, I'm feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're competing against. It's not just taste that, you drink this thing and a half hour later you're going, oh, and you drink another one. Next, 4 down and you lay it on the couch and you can't get up. So they haven't quite figured that one out. Besides the fact that it's hard to not have that undertaste of cannabis molecules in it. It's just hard to get rid of it.
Fair.
I blame the cannabis beverage success to the viral rise of White Claw.
I don't believe that the cannabis
Absolutely.
beverages are having success. I believe they're just gaslighting
Absolutely.
all of you guys on all of this. They're just gaslighting.
Would I buy them? No. Would I go to the store and be like, hey, let me get a 4-pack of so on and so such? I definitely wouldn't. But I'll drink it for free.
I mean,
So I
that's
guess
the
that
problem
might make
they
me,
got.
maybe you should stop giving me your drink sample.
I'm not even going to comment on that because I could say so many wrong things. But
He
we're
has
going to go to a
evolved,
commercial.
Jason.
We're going to be right back.
Oh boy, Jason, that's so.
The Network Show is coming back to LA September 18th and 19th. Make sure to get your tickets now for the only B2B licensed flower trade show in LA. With its previous shows selling out, you'll want to act fast so you don't miss out on over 150 of the best brands and distributors throughout California. The Network Show captures and ensures an intimate, focused environment for California's most influential brands and retailers to join forces in the true spirit of the legacy operator. So head over to www.networkshow.co/ticketing to reserve your spot and start cultivating connections at this year's Network Show. Oh, yes. Coming up next, it's that Southern belle who loves to tell you all kinds of things about this and that. That's right. She's the founder of Anti-Cannabis, as well as just served a 501c3. It is none other than Miss Jenny Beth Dills.
I don't know how I feel about that intro, but okay.
Let's give a fuck.
Oh, all right.
Feel however you want.
Southern Belle can tell you to go to hell. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going back to Morocco again, 2 days in a row. I'm really excited. There's a lot of really cool news coming out of Morocco right now, you guys. And as soon as the teleprompter starts rolling, I'm going to tell you because, like Biden, I can't do it without one. In 2024, Morocco has significantly expanded its legal cannabis sector, issuing over 3,000 authorizations compared to just 721 in the previous year. This growth follows the Royal Pardon Initiative, which has provided new opportunities for farmers to operate within a regulated framework. The National Agency for Regulation of Cannabis-Related Activities, ANRAC, has granted 2,837 authorizations for cultivation and production to 2,659 farmers, a substantial increase from 430 in 2023. Additionally, 192 authorizations were issued to 98 operators for processing, marketing, export, and seed activities. These operators include 23 cooperatives, 51 companies, and 24 private individuals. ANRAC has also certified 7.3 million cannabis seeds for cultivation on 1,164 hectares, benefiting 100 production cooperatives and 1,520 farmers. The use of local Baldia cannabis seeds has been authorized for 1,916 hectares by 106 cooperatives. Morocco's 2021 law allows cannabis cultivation for medical and industrial purposes in the Rif region, historically known for illicit hashish. The Baldia variety has been authorized for production following studies by the National Institute for Agronomic Research. Strict regulations ensure that any plant extracts with a THC content above 1% must be destroyed, with only those below this threshold being used industrially. The Royal Pardon Initiative has led to 685 convictions being overturned, affecting 4,831 individuals linked to cannabis cultivation, though it excludes those involved in trafficking or serious crimes. This move enhances Morocco's international image and strengthens the legal cannabis sector, offering farmers a secure environment to expand their activities. And I love this. I love to see it. I love that their traditional cultivars are being used. I love they're certifying those, which is amazing. And I think that Morocco is a great example of a place that is looking at this industry and saying, hey, we've been doing this. Let's not get left behind. So I'm very excited to hear what you guys have to think, and we'll keep it short. If you guys want to read the story, just fun fact, I always shorten all my stories. I read them first and then change them a bit. So, yeah, if you want to read the whole thing, it's a much longer article. You can find it at high9news.com.
Oh, boy.
Thank you for that insight, Jenny Beth. You know, I'm a huge fan of this Moroccan movement. But I know we Americans stay in our bubble over here in the States. How long have they been working on this? Because it seems like they were just like rolling out like banger after banger.
I'm just so impressed. They're moving so fast. I mean, I wish I have halfway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how long, do we have insight?
I think it's been a few years. I believe it's been a few years.
Morocco, we did the story on this on Morocco yesterday. Jenny covered it, and now she got another Morocco story. And basically, they just like
it has been a few years, but they are very rapidly moving things through. Like instead of just rolling it out in a janky way, I guess they kind of him-hawed around about it a little bit.
They're doing things. They're doing it like New York should have done it.
These guys,
they announced that they will be figuring this thing out, and when it happens, rather than giving a hard date as to when this is going to happen, and then just ham-fisting everything through.
Well, and Morocco is wise because they're not building a new industry. They're taking an old industry and ushering it into a new era. And so I'm super excited for them and all the constituents there that will benefit from this. What's that?
I mean, technically, that's what we did here in America. We just did it shittily.
We do a lot of things
to a degree. They're doing it in the right way, right? They're explicitly saying that the legacy operators are the ones that we want to operate in this market. And I mean, for a number of reasons, I think this is super exciting. One of them being that while Morocco has always been a more progressive, westernized Arabic country, it is still a predominantly Muslim Arab country. And for them to be moving in this direction, when you see just how draconian and antiquated the laws are in places like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates and Qatar and places like that, I think this is really encouraging. Yeah, UAE, Dubai. So I think this is really encouraging, and I think this is going to do a lot for the amount of trafficking that happens across the Strait of Gibraltar there between Spain and Morocco, because Spain is also working on slowly but surely modernizing their market as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see how legalization on both sides of the Strait of Gibraltar affects the future of
we've been talking about cannabis tourism for a very long time, and if there's any place that I think would be the biggest, most immediate beneficiary of cannabis tourism, to me, the obvious answer is Morocco.
Really?
I mean, yeah, but I think part of the cool thing about Morocco for me was like it took me years and years and years to get an invite from somebody who could safely take me to this region, right? So like, I mean, that's kind of like, remember when you had to know how to roll a blunt to smoke a blunt? Remember when you had to know how to roll a hash hole? Like, let's not custody everything the fuck up, but let's let Morocco kind of kick off and do what they're doing and at least allow them to continue their traditions without punishment for it.
I just can't wait till they have consumption lounges in Morocco.
Oh boy.
I mean, I've been to a couple places in Tangier that might not be licensed consumption lounges, but they were definitely letting us smoke some hash spliffs after hours.
Amazing
inside.
Amazing. That sounds like an awesome experience. I would.
No, it was a really, really fun time, and like as somebody that explicitly went to Morocco for the purpose of trying out their hash, I believe they call us narco tourists. I agree with what Yarrow said. I think this is really big, and I think that there's an opportunity for them to provide that in a more mainstream manner, not just for people that are stoners, that are really into the culture, that are aware of the history of hashish production in Morocco.
Fair enough. Yeah, this is a great story. Great job, Jenny.
I mean, just to answer Rico's question about why I think Morocco would be, the obvious answer for cannabis tourism, the architecture, the various cultural influences. I mean, Morocco's been on the map since Humphrey Bogart did Casablanca. I mean, it is an international country that is known outside of its country in a way that I think makes it a mecca for tourists who want to explore foods, explore different cultures, explore the amalgamation of different cultural influences, look at the architecture, go to the medieval ruins, and then there's the food. And so the idea that people would stop by a hash consumption lounge when they're already there, or would go there because it would be a little extra fun because of that aspect, I think is probably pretty high.
They have a lot of tourism between Spain and Morocco too, right? It's about 9.5 miles between Tangier and Tarifa or Algeciras. So then there's literally thousands of people that go across that strait every day back and forth. It's a 45-minute boat ride.
Of all the hash bars in the world, you had to walk in this one.
Wow, Jason. We're going there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rico, you ready? We ready? We're going to roll into Sohum.
Bogart, right?
All right, y'all. Closing us out today is a man with over a decade of regulated cannabis technology and data experience under his belt. And he always stays on his grind and is the man behind a athlete-focused lifestyle brand with the same damn name. Grind, that is. Coming to the stage to close us out is no other than not so ho-hum, Sohum Shah.
Thank you very much for that intro, Rico. That was a little bit better than Jason's.
Stop it. Stop it.
All right. Well, today we are going to take it out to Ohio, where I just spent the weekend at a cousin's engagement party. I didn't, unfortunately, get to check out any dispensaries. It was a pretty hectic trip, so I'm disappointed about that. But I did happen to find a forgotten bag of weed in my suit, so I had something to smoke on at least. But let's talk
Colorado old weed. That must have been extra dry.
Old. It's 2 months old from Colorado.
It must have been extra dry, bro.
It was fine. It was better than nothing. And actually, it was. I forgot about it, and I went up to my room to get my suit ready, and I'm like, why does my whole room smell like weed right now? And my suitcase is empty, so I start looking through the suit pockets, and sure enough, I had an 8 sitting in there. So, thank you, Past Sohum, for that. I appreciate you. But let's talk about the first 2 weeks of adult use sales in Ohio. Voters approved legalizing recreational sales last November in the state. After extensive debate, the state finally began issuing dual-use certificates to businesses this month to sell both medical and adult-use cannabis. From August 6th through the 17th, recreational marijuana sales exceeded $22 million. So that means that so far, Ohio sales of rec marijuana are tracking ahead of sales during the first few weeks of legalization in Michigan in 2019 and Illinois in 2020. Medical sales totaled about $16 million during that same period from October 6th through the 17th, according to the Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Cannabis Control. The roughly $38.5 million in combined sales is more than double the $18 million recorded during the same period last year. Before rec sales began, Ohio dispensaries averaged about $12,700 per day in medical marijuana sales, according to Headset, a firm that tracks cannabis sales across the country. During the first 3 days of recreational sales, dispensaries were averaging $27,300 daily, an increase of 114%. Both foot traffic and net sales more than doubled on the first day of recreational sales compared to the average day last year, a representative for Curaleaf, which has a location in Cuyahoga Falls, said in a statement. AYR Wellness, which has locations in Dayton, Woodmere, and Goshen, said rec sales now make up 2/3 of the company's sales in the state. So props to Ohio. Welcome to the Adult Use Sales Club. That was covered by Troy Smith from Axios Cleveland. So thanks to him and Headset for providing some numbers. But I'd love to throw it back to the team and hear what y'all think about the Ohio market. This is Sohum with High at 9 News.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, They have been doing some numbers. They have been doing some numbers. You can't take that away from them. That just means that Ohio is an amazing market, because I'm hearing that the trap numbers are up too, and the legal market numbers are up in Ohio.
Well, if you look at it, you see a lot of alcohol consumption in places where there's not a lot to do. And my kid's dad's family is from Delphus, Ohio. It's a fucking cow town. It's a cow town, yeah.
Delphus.
And if the Buckeyes aren't playing, I don't think there's a whole lot kicking off in Ohio unless you're headed out to the strip club or something. So I think, I'm not surprised that they're like, yes, please, God, let us get high.
Especially after that big Michigan beat, Rico.
Well, yeah, it was crazy.
I'm so glad you stole that moment from him. Good job, Jason.
You know what? I actually, I would credit the Sky High or High as a Kite Ohio sales to their dissatisfaction with this VP candidate that they produced.
They just need to cope with having that guy represent their state on a national stage.
Oh man,
there is cope in dope.
Oh boy.
If you're from Ohio, there's 2 things you could do with a couch. One of them is sit on it and smoke a joint.
Hey.
Couch condom.
What's the other one, Sohum?
I'll let you go on. I'll let you go on Twitter and do some research. You can just look up JD Vance has a really nice couch in his place. I encourage you to Google JD Vance couch to find out more information.
And I encourage you to ask your grandmother how to properly protect said couch.
With a couch condom.
Couch condoms. There you go.
Is that why back in the days everyone used to put plastic on their couches?
Yeah, just in case JD Vance.
Oh God!
When JD Vance is coming over, make sure Grandma get you ready. Get you ready.
People have furniture in the front of their house with plastic on there, and like no one's ever even allowed to sit on it.
Dorothy Elizabeth McLean would never. That couch was expensive.
See what I'm saying?
It was white. Now shut up.
See.
Lord.
All right, y'all. We made it on time.
Yarrow had to run after hearing that one.
We tried,
we made it on time. But thank you all for joining us.
Without fucking it up, and then there he goes.
I would have made it on time if Jenny Beth wasn't coming, y'all. Thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of High at 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the super fans getting their comments posted live on the big screen and announced by the team. And do we have any today, Jason?
No Wagyu today, you guys.
God damn it, we're in a drought.
Wagyu, bro. It's a drought.
We're a super fan drought right now, man. It's parched. But also everybody else tuning in daily, live audience in the audience supporters and in the chat here. We're keeping it all the way live. Shout out to Cool and Gang there. For the headlines of chaos, and also known as developing cannabis industry, to our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, bringing us much needed variety of perspective and your respected opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, the sponsors keeping our lights on, AV struggles to a minimum, and as always, the Cannabis Steve L, the reason why we show up to read these stories every single day. Thank you too. It has been Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Show's over. You've all been blessed with the top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News, and we're gonna give this one out to Sohum Shah. What you got for us, my man?
Oh, I say school's back in session. We got all the sports leagues are starting back up. We got European football. We got NFL coming back soon. I think everyone should be excited. It's fun. Go out and get some activity in. Stay on your grind. Smoke something up. Eat an edible. Drink a couple Disty juices for Jason because that's his favorite.
So gross.
But be cool. Enjoy. Be nice to somebody today. Give somebody a compliment for no reason and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes.